The night that changed everything. The ambulance siren wailed through Seattle's rainy night, matching the thundering pulse in Dr. Maya Sinclair's chest. 12 hours into her shift at Harborview Hospital, she'd already saved 3 lives and lost 1. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical bun, a few strands escaping to frame her face as she gulped down lukewarm coffee. Dr. Sinclair to the ER, stat, the intercom blared. Maya abandoned her coffee, the familiar rush of adrenaline propelling her forward. The emergency room doors burst open as a frantic woman carried a small, limp child. "Please help my daughter," she cried, her voice breaking. "She can't breathe." Maya rushed forward, immediately taking the child. "Get me a pediatric crash cart," she ordered the nurse. The girl's lips had a bluish tint, her breathing shallow and labored. "Her name is Lily," the mother said, trembling. "She's 6. It started with a fever, then—" Maya glanced up to reassure the mother and froze. Those eyes, that face. It had been 7 years, but she would recognize Olivia Chen anywhere. Recognition dawned in Olivia's eyes, too, her already pale face turning ashen. "Maya?" "Later," Maya said firmly, professionalism overtaking shock. "Right now I need to help your daughter." Maya worked methodically, placing an oxygen mask over Lily's small face, checking vitals. "Severe respiratory distress. Possible pneumonia or allergic reaction. Let's get a chest x-ray and start broad-spectrum antibiotics." As she examined Lily, Maya couldn't ignore what her medical training immediately recognized. The child's features, the distinctive arch of her eyebrows, the shape of her chin, the dimple in her left cheek, mirrored Maya's own. "How old did you say she was?" Maya asked, her voice strained. 6.5, Olivia whispered, her eyes never leaving her daughter. 6.5 years. 7 months after Olivia had disappeared from Maya's life without explanation. After their intense relationship during medical school had ended in a bitter argument about their futures. Maya's hands trembled slightly as she inserted the IV. The timeline fit perfectly. Too perfectly. "We were together 7 years ago," Maya whispered, her back to Olivia as she administered medication. "And she looks like—" "Please," Olivia interrupted, her voice barely audible. "Just save her." The next hours were a blur of tests, treatments, and monitoring. Maya worked with mechanical precision, her mind compartmentalizing the personal shock to focus on saving the child. Who might be her child? Lily began responding to treatment, her breathing easing as the medications took effect. By dawn, her condition had stabilized, though she remained unconscious. In the quiet of the early morning, Maya finally stepped outside Lily's room where Olivia sat, her head in her hands. "She'll recover," Maya said, leaning against the wall for support. "The antibiotics are working." Olivia's shoulders sagged with relief. She looked up at Maya, her eyes red-rimmed from crying, her fingers fidgeting with the silver bracelet on her wrist, the same nervous habit Maya remembered from years ago. "Thank you," Olivia whispered. Maya crossed her arms, her professional demeanor cracking. "Is she mine, Olivia?" The corridor seemed to shrink around them, the hospital sounds fading to a distant hum. Olivia's silence was answer enough. "How could you keep this from me?" Maya's voice was dangerously low. "You disappeared without a word. You took my child. I didn't know for certain until after I left," Olivia said, her eyes meeting Maya's. "And you made it clear you never wanted children." "That didn't give you the right to decide for me," Maya countered, her hands now shaking visibly. A nurse approached, interrupting their charged exchange. "Dr. Sinclair, Lily's awake and asking for her mother." Maya stared at Olivia, 7 years of lost moments crashing down between them. "We're not done with this conversation," she said, her voice breaking. "Not by a long shot." As they entered the room together, Lily's eyes, the same deep brown as Maya's, looked up at them. She reached out a small hand with 5 delicate fingers toward her mother, unaware of the seismic shift that had just occurred in both women's lives. "Mommy," she murmured weakly. "Who's that lady?" Maya felt her heart fracture and mend in the same moment as she looked at the daughter she never knew she had. Truths and consequences. The hospital room felt smaller than it actually was, the tension between Maya and Olivia nearly tangible. Lily had finally fallen asleep after her medication, her chest rising and falling in a steady rhythm that both women watched like it was the most precious sight in the world. "I need answers," Maya whispered, careful not to wake the child. All of them, now. Olivia nodded, her fingers brushing through Lily's dark hair. Let's talk in the hallway. Outside, the fluorescent lights highlighted the exhaustion on both their faces. Maya leaned against the wall, arms crossed defensively. After our last fight, when you said a family would hold you back from your surgical fellowship, I found out I was pregnant, Olivia began, her voice steady despite her trembling hands. I called you 3 times. You never answered. I was in surgery for 20 hours straight, Maya countered. When I called back, your number was disconnected. Because I'd already decided to leave, Olivia admitted. I thought it would be easier if I just disappeared. Especially after hearing your voicemail about how relieved you were that we'd broken up before things got too complicated. The memory hit Maya like a physical blow. I was hurting, Olivia. I was trying to convince myself I didn't need you. Well, it worked, Olivia said bitterly. I moved to Portland, had Lily, and built a life. I only came back to Seattle last month for the research position at Children's Hospital. Maya slid down the wall until she was sitting on the cold linoleum floor. 6 years, she whispered. I've missed 6 years of her life. I'm sorry, Olivia said, joining her on the floor, careful to maintain distance between them. I was young and scared. By the time I realized what I'd done was wrong, too much time had passed. Maya's phone buzzed with a text from the nurse. Lily's latest vitals were normal. Relief washed over her. Does she know about me at all? Maya asked, her voice cracking. Olivia shook her head. She knows her other parent couldn't be with us, but nothing specific. I was planning to tell her when she was older. Maya laughed humorlessly. Well, fate had other plans. Through the window of Lily's room, they could see the child stirring. Maya stood, brushing off her scrubs. I'm not walking away from her, she said firmly. I'm her mother too, and I want to be in her life. Olivia nodded slowly, fear and resignation battling in her eyes. I know, but Maya, please don't take her from me. Maya's expression softened slightly. I would never do that. But we need to figure this out for Lily's sake. As they re-entered the room, Lily's eyes fluttered open. Dr. Maya, she mumbled sleepily. My chest doesn't hurt anymore. Maya smiled, approaching the bed. That's good news, Lily. You're getting better. Lily's small hand reached out, 5 perfect fingers wrapping around Maya's thumb. Your eyes look like mine, she observed innocently. Maya felt her heart constrict with love and loss. Yes, she replied softly. They do. Olivia watched the interaction, tears streaming silently down her face as she witnessed the beginning of a bond that should have formed years ago. Later that night, as Olivia slept awkwardly in the hospital chair, Maya studied her daughter's face, memorizing every detail. The curve of her nose, the arch of her eyebrows, the shape of her small mouth, all so familiar yet entirely new. I'll make this right, she whispered to the sleeping child. Somehow I'll make up for all the time we've lost. Building bridges 2 weeks after Lily's discharge from the hospital, Maya stood nervously outside Olivia's modest apartment, a small gift bag in her hand. She'd respected Olivia's request for time to prepare Lily, but each day of separation from her newly discovered daughter had felt like torture. The door opened, revealing Olivia in casual jeans and a sweater, looking more like the young medical student Maya had fallen for years ago than the harried mother from the hospital. Hi, Maya said, suddenly feeling awkward. Come in, Olivia replied, stepping aside. Lily's been asking about you every day. The apartment was warm and lived in, with children's books scattered across the coffee table and colorful artwork adorning the walls. Maya recognized Lily's handwriting on a paper taped to the refrigerator. I want to be a doctor like Mommy and Dr. Maya. She already admires you, Olivia said, following Maya's gaze. Before Maya could respond, a small whirlwind burst into the room. Dr. Maya! Lily exclaimed, her recovery evident in her energetic bounce and healthy color. You came to visit me. Maya knelt down, coming face to face with her daughter. I did, and I brought you something. She handed over the gift bag. Lily pulled out a children's medical kit with real working stethoscope. Her eyes widened with delight as she immediately placed it against Maya's chest. I can hear your heart, she gasped. It's going really fast. Because I'm excited to see you, Maya said truthfully. Olivia watched them, her expression a complex mixture of happiness and apprehension. Lily, why don't you show Maya your room? The afternoon passed in a blur of getting-to-know-you conversations. Maya learned that Lily loved strawberry ice cream, but hated chocolate, could read at a third-grade level despite being in first grade, and had her mother's aptitude for science but Maya's stubborn determination. As evening approached, Lily fell asleep on the couch between them, her small body curled trustingly against Maya. As the storm before calm. You can't just waltz back into our lives and demand joint custody. Olivia's voice rose as she paced the living room of Maya's downtown apartment. It's been 6 years, Maya. 6 years where you were completely absent. Because you didn't give me a choice. Maya countered, her professional composure cracking. And I'm not demanding anything. I'm asking for what's fair. For what's right for Lily. 3 months had passed since the night in the emergency room. Maya had become a regular presence in Lily's life, taking her on weekend outings, attending her school science fair, even rearranging her surgical schedule to make it to Lily's dance recital. But the tenuous peace between the two women had begun to fray as the reality of shared parenthood became more complicated. What's right for Lily is stability, Olivia insisted. She's known one home, one routine her whole life. Maya took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. And I'm not trying to disrupt that. But I deserve more than just supervised visits that you can cancel whenever you're feeling threatened. Threatened? Olivia scoffed. Is that what you think this is about? Isn't it? Maya stepped closer. Every time Lily and I start to bond, you find a reason to cancel our next visit or cut it short. The truth of Maya's words hung heavy between them. Olivia turned away, arms wrapped around herself. I'm afraid, she finally admitted, her voice small. I'm afraid she'll love you more than me. Maya's anger deflated. Olivia, you're successful, brilliant, the doctor who saved her life. How can I compete with that? Tears streamed down Olivia's face. I'm just the mom who lied to her. Before Maya could respond, the apartment door opened. Maya's neighbor, Mrs. Patel, stood there with Lily, returning from their trip to get ice cream while the adults talked. Mommy, why are you crying? Lily asked, rushing to Olivia's side. Olivia quickly wiped her tears. It's nothing, sweetie. Grown-up stuff. But Lily's perceptive gaze shifted between her two mothers, her young mind putting pieces together. Are you fighting because of me? She asked, her lower lip trembling. Is it because Dr. Maya wants to be my mommy too? The room went silent. Maya and Olivia exchanged panicked looks. Lily, what do you mean? Olivia asked carefully. I heard you talking on the phone, Lily said. You said she's trying to take my place as Lily's mother. Her brown eyes, so like Maya's, filled with tears. But Sadie at school has 2 mommies. Why can't I? Maya knelt down to Lily's level, her heart racing. Lily, there's something important we need to tell you. Maya, not like this, Olivia protested. She already knows, Olivia, Maya said gently. She deserves the truth. Lily looked between them, her small face serious. Are you my other mommy? Maya nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. Yes, Lily, I am. But you weren't there before. Why? The simple question cut deeper than any accusation. Maya looked to Olivia, silently asking permission to continue. Olivia joined them on the floor, taking Lily's small hand in hers. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, sweetheart. Big mistakes. I made a mistake by not telling Maya about you and not telling you about Maya. Were you mad at each other? Lily asked. Yes, Maya admitted. But we're trying not to be anymore because we both love you very much. Lily considered this, her little brow furrowed in concentration. Then, with the simple wisdom of children, she reached out, taking Maya's hand with her right and keeping hold of Olivia's with her left. Then you should both be my mommies, she declared. And you should stop fighting. The two women's eyes met over their daughter's head, both seeing the same realization. Their own feelings, their past hurts, had to take a backseat to what Lily needed. You're right, Maya said softly. We should. Later that night, after Lily had fallen asleep on Maya's couch, the two women sat on the balcony, the Seattle skyline glittering before them. We need to do better, Olivia said. For her sake. Maya nodded, cautiously reaching for Olivia's hand. I know we can't go back to what we were, but maybe we can build something new. Something better. Their fingers intertwined, a tentative peace settling between them as the storm began to pass. A family reimagined. Mama, hurry up or we'll be late. Lily's voice echoed through Maya's apartment, where the 3 of them were getting ready for Lily's 7th birthday party at the aquarium. 1 year had passed since the night in the emergency room that had changed everything. The calendar on Maya's refrigerator was now filled with color-coded schedules. Green for Olivia's days with Lily, blue for Maya's, and purple for the increasingly frequent days they spent together as a family. "Coming, sweetheart," Maya called back, adjusting the collar of her casual button-down shirt. In the bathroom mirror, she caught Olivia's reflection as she applied lipstick. "You look nice," Maya said, their eyes meeting in the glass. Olivia smiled, a genuine warmth that had been absent in those first tense months. "Thanks. So do you." They had settled into a co-parenting rhythm that worked surprisingly well. Maya had moved to a condo closer to Olivia's apartment, making transitions easier. They shared a digital calendar for Lily's activities and had standing coffee dates to discuss parenting decisions. What had started as stilted formal meetings had gradually evolved into comfortable conversations that occasionally stretched long into the evening. "Ready for chaos?" Olivia asked, referring to the 15 first graders who would soon be running wild among the fish tanks. "As I'll ever be," Maya laughed, "though I still say surgery is less stressful than a kid's birthday party." As they headed into the living room, Lily was spinning in her new party dress, arms outstretched. "Look at me. I'm a jellyfish," she declared. "The prettiest jellyfish I've ever seen," Olivia said, catching her mid-spin for a hug. Maya watched them, still sometimes struck by the wonder of it all. This beautiful child who was part of her, this family they were creating out of broken pieces. The party was a whirlwind of excitement, with Lily proudly introducing Maya to her friends. "This is my other mom. She's a doctor who fixes people's hearts." Later, as the children pressed their faces against the glass of the shark tank, Olivia and Maya found themselves alone for a moment. "Thank you," Olivia said suddenly. Maya turned to her. "For what?" "For not hating me. For finding a way to forgive me." Olivia's eyes were serious. "For loving her so completely. How could I not?" Maya replied softly. "She's part of both of us." Their hands brushed as they leaned on the railing, neither pulling away. The past year had been full of difficult conversations, tears, and slowly rebuilding trust. They'd both seen therapists, both individually and together, learning to navigate their complex history for Lily's sake. "I never stopped, you know," Olivia said, her voice barely audible above the ambient noise of the aquarium. "Never stopped what?" "Loving you," Olivia met her gaze steadily. "Even when I was running away. Even when I was angry. Even when I was afraid." Maya's breath caught. They hadn't discussed this aspect of their relationship, focusing instead on being good parents. But the connection between them had never fully disappeared, only transformed. "I'm not the same person I was 7 years ago," Maya said carefully. "Neither am I," Olivia replied. "Maybe that's a good thing." Maya's fingers intertwined with Olivia's, both pairs of hands with their 5 fingers each fitting together as naturally as they always had. "Maybe we could find out," Maya suggested. "Dinner, just the 2 of us. Ms. Patel already offered to watch Lily." Olivia smiled, a hint of her old mischief returning. "Are you asking me on a date, Dr. Sinclair?" "I believe I am, Dr. Chen." A shriek of delight from Lily interrupted their moment. She was racing toward them, pointing excitedly at a colorful tropical fish. "Moms, look at that one. It's perfect." They turned together, still holding hands, to share in their daughter's wonder. Their family didn't look like what either of them had imagined 7 years ago. But as Lily stood between them, one small hand holding each of theirs, they both realized it was exactly as it should be. "Perfect," Maya agreed, her eyes meeting Olivia's over their daughter's head. "Absolutely perfect." As the blue light from the aquarium tanks washed over them, casting them in a dreamlike glow, they stood together, not as the people they once were, but as the family they had become. Different, unexpected, and stronger for having weathered the storm,